Hey everybody, how are we doing? It is Friday evening. For those of you who are joining us from Facebook, we are on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a heck of a week. Hope everyone's staying warm, especially if you're in the Kentucky area, because I know it's uh, probably gonna be it's pretty chilly out today. It looks warm, but it's chilly. Okay, so wanted to get back on here, do a quick market update, nothing crazy. We're just going to kind of go over all the stuff that's been happening. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the market is slowly but surely picking up as we head into February, and we'll jump right into it. So, homes closed this past week, 48. So, that's homes that closing meeting, keys have been turned over, everything's fine. So, that means like end of December, early January, most of these homes went under contract. So we had 48 this week in Lexington alone. In Lexington, for the past month, I mean, last week, the week before, there was 40. Week before that, there was 40. The first week was 28. So kicking off the new year, I mean, holy cow, Lexington, you guys we're jumping right into it. Let's move on to Georgetown. Georgetown homes closed. This past week was 9. And then if you look at the rest of the month, that's actually a little bit of an uptick compared to the rest of the month. That Georgetown's activity, that's again with homes closed. Let's move on to for sales, see what for sales did this week. They had 5 this week. And for the rest of the month, they actually, again, that was a little bit of an uptick. So even in these kind of suburb areas, you're seeing just a little bit of momentum. Now we move to Paris. Paris 3. You're going to see that's actually very, very normal for Paris. I mean, the other week they had 1, second week they had 0, first week they had 1. So not a lot of movement in Paris. So there are homes out there. There's plenty of opportunities to move out there. If you're looking for that country town, Paris is definitely it. And the fact that you are as close as you are to Lexington, I think makes it a real ideal spot, especially if you're looking for that country home here in Kentucky. So homes closed for Nicholasville 5. Again, that's about consistent. A little bit of an uptick. Second week there was a jump of closings, but been pretty consistent overall. It's been a very consistent month for most of these areas. So Richmond, you had 12. Week before you had 12. Week before that you had 15. First week of January, you only had 8. So again, pretty consistent for Richmond. And then finally, we added Frankfort. I added them last week, so we will start to see more and more statistics of Frankfort and things like that here in the coming months as we continue to do these market updates. So homes under contract. These are homes that people are shopping and have just recently went under contract. Lexington, we had 45. Week 3, you had 80, that's a heck of a jump. And week 2, 43. So, last week I thought we were going to have a huge spike this week, but it kind of dropped back just a little bit, staying a little bit more consistent. I'm not sure what happened that third week. I couldn't tell you, but maybe all the homes that people were looking for went out and they just got sold. So again, it's coming. That market shift's coming. Homes under contract, I have 83 for week 3. I do not think that's accurate, especially since we had 12 this week. Week 2 was 9. I must have had a typo. I wonder if I bet you it was 8. If anything, I can't believe it was 83. Not 83. Not a chance for Georgetown. Not right now. Homes under contract for sales. You had 4 this week. Good job for sales. For sales is very slow, just like Paris. Paris and for sales, 2 peas in a pod when it comes to the real estate market. So not a lot going on. Actually, Deuce Kirk on our team, his daughter recently closed on a home in for sale. So we're excited about her. She's engaged as well. They're very excited about their wedding that's going to be coming up. So fantastic way to start off your marriage is getting yourself a nice little home. And for sales is an awesome little town. It really is. I can't say enough positive stuff about for sales. I enjoy driving over there. Winchester, my neck of the woods, had 11 this week. Wow. And then 35 last week. I wonder if I've jumped that again. Drop that stat. I don't know what happened there because we had 11 this week, 11 week 2, and 8. Yeah. I'm sorry about week 3, ladies and gentlemen. I just completely dropped the ball on that. I wonder if I just had typos and I didn't catch them. So homes under contract for Paris, you had 3, 12. week 3 and then 2 and 1 again. Week 3, I messed up that week. I don't know what I did wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, but Paris has been very consistent in that 3-2 range, so that's more likely what it was. It was probably 2 versus 12. And then Holmes under contract again. There's Nicholasville week 3, 36. That's probably not accurate. You're probably looking more around 6. And Nicholasville, 4 this week. So all those suburban areas surrounding there, not a lot going on. Richmond's a little bit further away. You had 11. I don't think they had 55 in week 3. I don't believe it, especially when week 2 and week 1 were both 9. So we're probably looking around the 10 to 11 range in week 3. So very consistent again. And Frankfurt, 63. I don't know what happened there, but they had 7 this past week. So we'll fix all that stuff as we go into February. So new active listings. So these are homes that have hit the market. They have just come onto the market and pretty consistent. So 36 this past week. The week before you had 25. The week before you had 28. Kick off the new year, you had 32. So, I mean, if you're looking in the Lexington area, 30 homes each week are coming out. So one thing I like to tell my buyers is right now, best way I could describe the market to you is it is a marathon followed by a short sprint. And what does that mean? The kind of home that you might be looking for in the right neighborhood or the certain price range, if it needs a basement, if it needs certain things, I just say, be ready because homes will come out. Some will fit some of check your boxes off. Some will not necessarily be close. But then the one that does hit, I mean, we're sprinting. We've got to go. We got to go. We got to go. We got to get it in there. We got to check it out. If it's something that you like, we got to get that offer in. And usually, if you're the first one in, you have a great shot at getting the home, especially if you're the first contract in hand, because it shows you how serious you are, especially if the home's only been on the market for a day. So that's just a very positive and enticing thing for sellers to see, especially, when it comes to buying homes. Georgetown, you had 11 weeks last week. You had 16, 22, 10. So a little bit of a jump in the middle of the month, slowing down just a little bit in Georgetown. Georgetown's one of those, again, not it. Kind of going back to what I just said about home buyers. It's a marathon followed by a short sprint. If you're looking in these like suburban areas of Georgetown, Versailles, Winchester, you've got to be ready to go. You got to have your pre-qualification letter ready. You have to have everything in line. So that way, when that home does come up, you're ready to sprint and you're ready to get going. And moving on, come on. I like these little graphics. Winchester, 6, 6, 5, 4. So very consistent. It's amazing how consistent the market is going to be. I'm excited to see what February has in store for us. New homes, Paris, there you go. So, I mean, it kind of goes in line with homes sold, homes closing. You're averaging 3 homes on the market every week. You're probably not going to have a lot of homes sold. Nicholasville, 10, 9, 11, 5. So, again, right now, if you're looking at Nicholasville, I would expect to see 10 new homes come up each week. And that depends on your price range. You might only see 1 or 2, depending on what your price range is. Richmond, only 3. That's impressive, since especially the week before there's 20, 29. Richmond usually is pretty close to Lexington. Their numbers might be just a little bit under Lexington when it comes to homes sold, homes coming on the market. So we'll keep an eye out on Richmond. I expect more to come out here in the next few weeks. Frankfurt, a little bit of a jump from the previous week. You had 6. Now you're up to 11. Okay, so let's kind of look at some of the days on the market. So these are based off of the homes that have closed. I might switch up this stat. Instead of doing homes that are closed, I might see what's active and see what the average days on market is, because I think that might give you, especially if you're a buyer, a little bit more insight into what's going on. And so, right now, like the homes that have closed in Lexington, the ones that did close, 40 days. So, I mean, they're averaging a month. So, are there homes that are selling in a day or two? Absolutely, but not as many as you think. I talked to a new buyer this morning on the phone, and She didn't have a real good perspective of what the market was doing. She thought it was still a crazy seller's market. Everyone's paying thousands of dollars over, and that's just not the case anymore. So that's why I like doing these market updates for you, so you can kind of get an idea, especially if you're looking in certain spots like Georgetown, averaging 39 days. That sounds about right. Week one, the first week, I think there was probably only like one or two closings, so that might have been a little skewed statistic. But I mean, last week, this week, you're averaging a month if you're thinking about listing your home in Georgetown, at least. For sales, over a month. For sales, I'll say this: for sales in Paris, these little suburb areas that are only averaging like 3 or 4 closings a month, this stat is going to be a little skewed. It's not going to be that accurate. So Winchester is a little bit same. I mean, you have 22 days, 13 days, 58 days, 27 days. Unless you have a consistent number, you're going to be kind of all over the place. So Paris, again, depending on what home is, the first week there only one home sold, so it only lasted 11 days. An average in December was 14. So we'll do the average for January, so you can kind of see as well as the market shifts as we move on down the road. Nicholasville, 3 months. Then previous week, again, it depends on if you have any homes sold. So I think that's why I'm going to shift it to active homes instead of just closed homes, because I think that's going to be more important for the buyers, especially when we're looking at all these statistics. Frankfurt, almost a month. Week 3, 112 days. So yeah, no, we'll definitely switch that up going forward when we do these market updates. Average sold price for the closed home. So homes that sold, what was the average price? Lexington 328. That's I think that's a little bit more realistic. So week 2, you almost had 500K. Week 3, 420. Week 1 was 305. I think just because there's so many homes and I'm used to seeing all the homes that are active and on the market, you're in the 300 to 350 range. I think is going to be for a decent home. That's what you're looking at. Georgetown, we had 330. That's a little bit more consistent, as you can see from week 1, week 2, week 3. Very, very consistent in the sales prices. So those are kind of your price ranges. And here's the thing: $330,000 home in Georgetown, it's gonna be closer to like a $400,000 home in Lexington. Just throwing that information out there. So if you are one of those people who's looking to move to Lexington but doesn't have to be in Lexington, can drive into work, you got to check out these areas that surround it. I mean, all these areas for sales: Georgetown, Winchester, Paris, they're all 30-minute drives. So it's definitely something to look into. Winchester, 260. Week before, 318, 175. Yeah, 260, that'll get you a really nice home here in Winchester, without a doubt. And that'll be closer to a $300,000 home easily in Lexington. Paris, 185, 245, no data, and then 265 on one home. So again, these stats for those areas are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be a little skewed because like Nicholasville, $610,000. Then the previous few weeks, I mean, you barely broke 383. I mean that, yeah. So don't hang your head on those numbers. Richmond, 545. I bet that was a really, really nice farm or two that sold. But as you can see, the previous weeks, 250, 250, 315. Yeah, a couple of really nice farms probably just sold recently in Richmond. So Frankfurt, 245, 250 the week 3. So there you go. So let's look at the last round of stats. Lexington, sold to list ratio. So a quick reminder for those of you who never watched this before: sold to list ratio means, if I list your home at $200,000 and it only sells for $195,000, then that means it only sold for 98%, sold to list ratio. So that's what all these numbers are, and these tell the tale. If you're thinking about buying, these are the statistics you definitely need to check out. So Lexington, 98%. That means you're not paying full price on average. Okay. And that's been real consistent through this whole month. And even in December was a little bit of a slow month in real estate. So if you're shopping, December is not is not a bad time to go shopping, because there's not that many people out there who are trying to purchase homes. The only downside is there's not a lot out there. So just kind of a give and takes. If the house fits all your, checks all your boxes, then fantastic. Let's go buy you that house. Georgetown, a little bit of a dip, which kind of shocked me, because they've been real close to that 100% range. A lot of people are trying to move to Georgetown. Georgetown's not a bad area. I was talking to somebody about that, and they're like, there's tons of crime. Well, I mean, if you're looking at statistics, go look at any city statistics. They're going to say that the crime is terrible in every single city. There are good areas, there are bad areas in every single area of every city, and that's part of my job is to kind of help guide you and direct you. Like, hey, let's go check out this South End because I think you'll feel a little bit better. Or let's go towards the North Side. So don't ever, if you're not from the area, then you can think that the crime is just out of control based off of what a website tells you. But that's why it's fun to have realtors that kind of know the areas and know what's going on. For sales, 94%, 103, 98, 93. So, I think on average, you're going to be between 95 and 98% for sales. Not a lot going on out there, so you should be getting yourself a deal. Winchester, same thing, but Winchester's been real consistent. So 97 in December, it was 98 this past week, 95, 94. So there you go. Again, you're going to get a deal. You're going to find yourself a deal. Paris, 86%, 86% the week before. I mean, there you go. I mean, that's it. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a really good deal, see what's going on in Paris. Again, it's a small town, small community. It's country, horse country out there. It's beautiful, beautiful drive. I was there yesterday. I've actually got a closing going on for a Paris home next week. So it's a nice area. Nicholasville, 96%, 94, 98. No data week 1. Well, that was the start of the new year. And 95 in December. So again, Nicholasville is a great little spot. Driving up Nicholasville Road, I mean, you're going to hit that mall. You're going to hit Man of War. I think that's a pretty good drive. It's like the only downside is you have Nicholasville Road. If you live close to Harrodsburg Road, it's a little bit of a quicker drive into Lexington. You don't have to necessarily take Nicholasville Road, but that's probably the only downside of Nicholasville is because you have to drive Nicholasville Road to get to Lexington. Richmond, 94, 97, 96, 93, average of 96. So that sounds about right. It's going to probably be close to 96% again here for the month of January. And then Frankfurt, 93%, 95%. We actually just had a listing sell. I had a client buy a house in Frankfurt. We went overpriced because it was a nice little house for the quality and the area that it was in. So that's kind of like leads me into the next segment, which is it time to sell? That's always a question that I get when I talk to potentially new clients and talk to them about listing their home. Right now, if you can sell it, let's sell it because there's limited inventory. There's very, very limited inventory. And we have 74 tips and tricks to make your home kind of stand out among all the rest without necessarily breaking the bank. I know a lot of people get nervous about fixing up stuff or doing certain things to make their home sell faster. But I mean, we're not 100% in a buyer's market. We're not 100% in a seller's market. You will be in a seller's market if your home is in great shape, good quality, you've taken care of it, is in the neighborhood everyone wants, then you're definitely in a seller's market because everyone's going to want to have that house. And we can definitely tell you that, and we can give you that information. I would say if you can, do it now because once we get into spring, the market's going to be, we're projecting, the market's going to get flooded with a bunch of homes, and now you're competing with other people. If you can knock it out this month before we get into March and April, that's always my kind of suggestion, especially if you don't need to fix up your home or you don't need to do anything special to get it ready. So is it time to buy? It's always the time to buy. If you can get out of renting, we need to get you out of renting. I mean, always remember, I know a lot of people don't necessarily like the interest rate that's going on right now. I think we're still in the mid sixes. It's going to get lower as we get into springtime as the market kind of picks up, which is great. But I mean, renting is 100% interest, and you're never going to get that back. Just always remember that. I know some people like renting because the landlords have to take care of everything. They got to fix everything, and that's great. but you'll always you're kind of just stuck in that same spot. The cool thing with buying a home, put away some equity about after 4 or 5 years, you can take that and use it as your down payment towards that next level home, especially if you are like starting a family, you're looking for that starter home. You live there for about 5 or 6 years. Kids are getting older, kids are getting bigger. You need a little bit more space. Then you get to upgrade and even potentially move yourself into the area that you really, really want to be in. So, the longer you wait, the further you push that back. That's just the ugly truth, unfortunately. So if you're interested or you're thinking about buying, I mean, just reach out to us. We'll connect you with our lender partners that we work with real closely. They'll tell you exactly what you qualify for right now. If you have a dream kind of price range that you're looking for, tell you what you got to do to get yourself there. So, I mean, if you got to rent right now and you got to save for a down payment, fantastic. At least you're working towards something. You're working towards yourself, getting yourself out of the rent. Okay. Because that's the biggest key thing ever. I would just say, try not to take too long because life comes at you. Your car breaks down, you got to get a new car. That'll definitely push it back because any big time purchase you've got to make, I mean, that just hurts your credit. So just kind of think about those kind of things. You don't want to take too long. Kind of set yourself a year plan, a 2-year plan. I want to buy my first home in the next 2 years. Fantastic. Come talk to me. We'll connect you with our lenders. They'll tell you financially what you got to do every single month to get yourself where you need to be, whether it's with your down payment or your credit. So I know it's Friday afternoon, Friday evening, 5:30, whatever that is. So I hope everyone's doing okay. Stay warm. I think the weather's supposed to pick up just a little bit. I've got a couple showings going on this weekend with some clients. So like I said, if you're ready to buy, let's buy. I mean, there's limited inventory, but we're getting you the homes. I mean, that's what we do here at this. And I it's my full-time job. It's my full-time gig. So I love doing this and it's a lot of fun for me. We definitely got some projects around the house that we're going to do this weekend. I'm sure the dogs would like to take us to the park at some point this weekend, especially since it's supposed to be nice out. And hopefully it won't be too muddy either. But that's all I got for tonight. Hope everyone's doing okay. Hope everyone's staying safe, staying healthy. Again, if you have any questions or if you're thinking about buying or selling, you know what to do. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text. We'll do everything that we can to help you. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you next Friday. Check out our newest video that we had just posted. It was a fun one for me. I enjoyed it myself. I got to go check out the local taco. It's a really, really cool joint. I've heard about it. It's been around Lexington for a long time. So the fact that I've never had it before is kind of shocking to me. And I had a blast. It was really, really good. I even got to talk to the owner. He's a fantastic guy. He's a chef, he's a cook, and literally living the American dream. And he's got a second location out now in the area. That's how good his business is doing. So if you like some Southern style Tex-Mex, like that's really what it is. It's Tex-Mex mixed with some Southern style cooking. You definitely got to go check it out. It's definitely worth it. I had the Southern fried chicken, buffalo chicken quesadilla. It was great. I loved it. I'm definitely going to have to reinvent it here at home. So definitely check that video out. Hope everyone's staying safe. I will see you guys next Friday. Again, if you ever need anything, you just let me